Welcome to Windows Azure training. So today demo I will show you how to create Windows virtual machine in Azure portal. So you go to portal.azure.com. So I'm having subscription in both Gmail and Hotmail. Gmail, so I'm having some Visual Studio subscription. So in Hotmail I'm having my subscription as Pay As You Go. I'm just selecting my Gmail account. Go to portal menu, select virtual machines, create virtual machine, create Azure virtual machine. While creating Azure virtual machine, so it will consist of so many menu options like basics, disk, networking, management, monitoring, advanced. We need to complete the column one by one. First, we need to create resource group. What is resource group? Resource group is a container. See, whatever objects we are creating, like consider in terms of infrastructure side, whatever things I am creating in terms of compute, storage, networking, everything will be considered as object. So we need to create resource group. Create new resource group. So here I am just giving demo. I am just type it as it is a demo Azure training, or we need to type some unique name. See, whenever you are creating resource group, there is no space between your names. If I am giving any space, then it will give you error message. So whenever you are creating resource group, not only resource group, whenever you are creating virtual machine name, we need to type unique name without having any space. If I am typing a name with space, it will give you some error message. So demo Azure. Here I am giving my demo is Windows VM, how to create Windows VM. I am just selecting the region. See, whatever region you want, you can select all over the world. Microsoft having more than 40 to 40 plus Azure regions all over the world, and I'm just selecting my West US 2. Availability zone, we need to select no infrastructure redundancy required. So later we will go to availability options. Later demos I will show you how to configure availability options whenever you are creating Azure virtual machine. So today's demo I will show you how to create a simple Windows virtual machine in Azure portal. And security type also we will go for standard instead of moving to trusted virtual machines. And image we need to select Windows 10 Pro. Windows 10 Pro version 22H2. So it will support in cloud, it will support only 64-bit. There is no 32-bit. And scroll down, select VM size. I am just selecting my size is B2S 2-core CPU 4GB RAM. So that is the optimum size for demo. And see, whenever you are creating virtual machine in Azure portal, we need to create username and password. So this is the username and password we need to enter whenever we connecting this VM via RDP. For demo, I'm just creating my username is Azure admin, and password we need to create around 12 to 13 characters. So it requires complexity. If you are creating simple password, it will give you error message. RDB 3389. By default, Microsoft registered this port number dedicated for remote desktop connection. Apart from Windows operating system, nobody other service provider or like apart from Windows, nobody can utilize this port number 3389. 3389 Microsoft registered this port number dedicated for RDP. Scroll down, we need to select the licensing. Scroll up, what are the remaining things available? Basic column completed. I just created resource group, name, virtual machine name, and region, availability option, security type image, and we need to select the VM size and create username and password for connecting this VM via RDP. By default it is showing inbound port is 3389. Scroll down the last, we need to select licensing whenever we start creating Windows 10 and Windows 11 VM in Azure portal. Suppose if I am creating Windows Server VM, there is no need of selecting licensing. So scroll up, in the topmost the second column is disk. By default, whenever you are creating any Windows VM, by default whenever you are creating any Windows virtual machine in Azure portal, the operating system drive, like the C drive, the default storage is 127 GB, and if you want you can create and attach a new disk. So in this demo I'm just not creating an extra disk, I'm just accepting the default one, C drive, so which consists of 127 GB. And networking, and we will move on to the third column, networking. So by default Azure will create virtual network. See, whenever you are creating any Windows virtual machine, not only any Windows virtual machine, if you are creating any open source virtual machines, see, Azure will create one public IP and private IP for the VM. So public IP is used to connect for RDP, and private IP is available inside the VM. By using that IP you can configure either a web server, you can use that private IP for installing any kind of internal web server, you can do some kind of testing. So remaining things I will accept the default. Basic column I will completed all the columns, like resource group, virtual machine, region, availability options, security type, image, and we need to create username and password, and allow selected ports, that is the default one, RDP 3389. And networking, if you go to management and see what are the options available. Auto shutdown option is available for the VM. If you want to take backup for this VM, you can able to take backup. And go to the monitoring. If you want to monitor your virtual machines, you can enable the boot diagnostic. Anyway, boot diagnostic, we need to create one more storage account. I will keep it as default boot diagnostic settings. Then I will finally select review plus create for creating Windows virtual machine inside Azure portal. So you are running final validation. Once validation is passed, we are getting some green tick mark. By mistake, for example, if I go to basics, scroll down, by mistake if I am not selected licensing. If I select review plus create, what will happen? So validation will fail. Then we will go back to the basic column. Then we need to go through each and every column. So whether whatever inputs we are provided, whether it is sufficient or either we are missing anything. Scroll down, finally license is missing. Review plus create. See, once again it is going to validate all my inputs. Based on that, it will give you green tick mark if everything is okay, validation passed. Then it will giving some pricing options in Azure, like for running this VM for another 1 hour we need to pay Indian rupees 3.46 INR. Then I will finally click create. So deployment is in progress. Once it is completed, I will connect this VM via remote desktop connection.